Navy, it means 6 months in water, 6 months in land.
Now, the person who's just standing beside me 1 second before is no more.
Keep on our emotions aside. We need to move ahead with the things. My father was in stage 4 cancer. We had very less time left.
Was there any point you thought, ki nahi, I'll leave it, I'll go home back?
Many times. I have to call them and say that it's me, and my mother cried for half an hour. What have you done
to yourself? I saw you're a mechanical engineer.
You'll not believe I had no idea I would be joining Indian Navy or Armed Forces. People laughed at me for this entry, and they laughed at me. You have no idea, like, where have you come
From Indian Navy, cyber security domain with IT field.
And I'm suddenly worried, like, I'm not working. I had developed anxiety for not working.
Itne baje utna hai, you have to do this, you have to do that. Was that something?
See, we ran for 6 months. We never walked in anywhere. We will be put in a ship. That time, we are not considered officers nor sailors, not even human beings.
Acha. The more you go down, it is pitch dark, right?
You can't see outside. And if you have done one mistake, water will come in and we'll all go down.
Hello, Namaskar. You're watching KATV India with me, Varsha Venugopal, and I'm back with another episode of a podcast special of KATV India. Today's episode is a little bit special because we have a lot of myth regarding our Indian Navy officers, the Indian Navy services. We have a lot of myth, like they are just doing nothing, they are doing this, they are doing that, they have a very easy life, this, that and all. But the struggle behind it is real. It is actually real, and we don't know how to get in there and what all we have to do, what are the steps, what are the procedures. And today, the guy with me sitting here, he has a different career path. Actually, he's a retired lieutenant commander in Indian Navy office. But the whole point is, he hasn't just chosen one career path. He started with mechanical engineering, then went to the Indian Navy, and now he's an IT guy. He's a civilian IT guy now. So it's none other than Lieutenant Commander Kiran Ramesh, retired, with us today in the KATV India podcast. Welcome to KATV India, Kiran.
Thank you. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure, literally, because see, before talking to you, I also had a lot of myth, and today when I'm taking you to my audience, they'll also have a clarity about how an Indian Navy officer works. What are the procedures, how you guys end up there, and what are the things over there? Because people are somewhat familiar with the military side, the BSF side, the in the armed force, they are much more into that side. But I think this Air Force, Navy, they doesn't have much clarity about what these guys are going through all about. And in fact, while having a fun chat, somebody told me he's taking 3 lakh rupees and this much rupees without doing nothing. But that's not the point.
Absolutely. So,
and again, welcome to KTV Tech.
Thank you. Thank you, Vansha. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons, why I wanted to do this,
Yeah.
to break this myth and to make people aware what is it all about, and what is, it is military, Indian
Yeah,
Navy.
yeah.
And one of the most common thing which I've heard, especially to start off with, I would say, in my, I'm from Bangalore, I'm a Bangalore boy. So all my relatives, my friends, are people I know. I'm the only guy who has joined armed forces, or they served in Indian Navy.
Okay.
So it's very difficult for me to initially to make people understand what I do. One of the common myth, people say, oh, Navy, it means 6 months in water, 6 months in land.
I had this myth. 6 months will work, 6 months will chill.
So that is most likely, that is the way the merchant Navy works. Merchant Navy is kind of thing which we move, to give a perspective. Imagine it's highway, the lorries take loading
goods,
goods and so they're like that, and we are like the one who are the authorities. And we are not meant to do that,
Acha, okay.
So we have a very distinctive role to deal with. And joining Indian Navy is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
And most people doesn't know this. People think, at least in South and in Bangalore, it's easy to join. What's there, But it is, I can say it is India's one of the toughest exam or to crack.
NDA, right?
Yeah, NDA is one.
Okay.
I've joined the Short Service Commission post my engineering. So there is something called SSB, the Service Selection Board, which happens. I think it's only one exam, I would say. You can never prepare for it.
Acha?
So even IAS is the most toughest exam, but you can still prepare for it. But whereas to getting into armed forces, you can't really prepare for it.
Oh, okay, okay. But then before going to the procedures, I really want to know, while I was reading about you, your profile, I saw you're a mechanical engineer. And after a mechanical engineer, Kiran chose to go to Indian Navy. And after getting retired from Indian Navy, Kiran chose again a very different domain, that is cyber security. It's an IT field. He's properly in a civilian IT guy today. So how come this three different perspectives, three different domains?
Yeah. So I mostly I've chosen something else and I've got into something else, but good, I would say.
So it was unplanned.
Yeah, it was unplanned initially, but I did had a thought of armed forces, wanted to join. In my school days, I was in NCC, so in back of my mind, I always thought of getting into armed forces. I had a flavor like how does it to be there and what all things will be there. I had a very slight idea,
Achha.
but slowly when I started growing up, I'm a Bangalore boy, as I say. Like the most thing, the people say for fun, right? When you throw a stone, it falls on a dog or an engineer. Like I wanted to become an engineer, so I chose engineering. Once I started studying engineering, my whole aim shifted somewhere else. So you'll not believe I had no idea I would be joining Indian Navy or Armed Forces when I finished my engineering. So my aim was to go to other country, like I was planning to go to Germany and do my masters and set my own factory in India, something like that. But 2008 happened, recession hit, and that was a phase where things were really bad. And the company where I was working, I just started to realize.
Oh, even before joining Indian Navy, like after being in mechanical engineering,
I did work.
I thought it's just the studying part.
So I worked in a production company. It's a decent company for 2.5 years. That made me to transform. I was in a state where I was doing 6 days a week and I'm working. So I felt there is no purpose in my life. I should do something. I should give back to the society. And at that situation in my life, I didn't know how to do it, or like I didn't know. But the only thought came to my mind is joining armed forces, where I'll be serving my country. That's one of the noble thing I can do. And unless not working for someone. I might sound because I'm doing it right now. It's like, no, my whole life purpose is not to make someone rich, like working for a company, getting things done. So I want to do something,
Serving the nation. Actually, Kiran, this is something very nice because we had a lot of chat even before sitting here, and I got to know that he and Yash has a similarity. Somebody just before this told me and gone out. So what similarity Kiran and Yash has is Yash's father was a bus driver and Kiran's father was a bus conductor. And Yash is a superstar in the sandalwood right now. But our Kiran is a superstar for the nation. You're serving the nation, and that is something, you are the actual heroes of our country. Come on. So definitely you are the superstar, Kiran. And you had this thought, instead of making somebody profitable with the money, you're serving the nation, you're making the profit for the country. That is not a small thought you had. And at that point of age, it's literally appreciable. At that point of age, people doesn't even think about their parents. You're thinking about the whole nation. That is something really appreciable, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Thank you for recognizing that. So luckily I was physically fit and my qualifications were there. So I got in, and you'll not believe, I got into Navy. It's a funny story. If I tell, being a Bangalore, again, I've been referring a lot of times, because I will be coming to the point why I've been referring this, the awareness was less. I have no clue how to crack the exam. And the exam, the SSB is for 10 to 11 days. It's not one day interview.
Oh.
So we have to go there and stay there.
Like for these whole 12 days?
Whole 12 days, that's right.
God.
So I went there to SSB taking half-day leave from my office. And it was in Bangalore. And people laughed at me when people came, a lot of young, engineers were there for this entry, and they laughed at me. You have no idea, like, where have you come? I mean, what are you thinking? You're not prepared. And that's the way. But that's the honesty. Though I don't want to break the process or want to elaborate on that. It's like the mental ability is one of the things which they see. They don't choose, the most high-flying guys or technically or educationally really well. They want people who has the ability to understand and take the task.
Acha.
Yeah, so that's the way I got selected. Even I was in a shock when I got selected, and luckily I finished the process and I was able to serve my country for 10
No,
years.
but this actually you broke a myth today, because usually people have this myth, even I had that, कि you should be physically fit. That is all you need to get into this armed forces and all. But I think today you broke this thing, कि you should be mentally conscious कि क्या, what is gonna happen
Right.
in this situation. You shouldn't be panicked. What should you do in this next point?
So the decision making ability should be there for you, and that's how there is a group of scientists will be sitting during our interviews.
Acha, okay.
And it's not straight. It's a very different. I don't want to get into that intro process. It's like quite nice. We should, if I start talking about it, it'll take more than 1 hour to discuss that. But it's very tricky. Later I joined Navy, so then I understood the selection process. There I understood how this is done.
Acha.
I was not even physically, no, I don't say physically fit. I was not that, regularly exercising guy when I was joining because of my work and stuff.
Yeah.
I asked this question to them, like, why did you choose me? And they're like, we will teach you everything. We just
Acha.
want people who can learn and adapt to this. So that's how they used to think, and I was very happy. First, initially, I doubted them. There's a mistake. Why are you choosing me? But as we proceed, and I finished my initial trainings, later on I understood like what they expected out of it, and I picked up things. That's kind of ability which they want. Being an officer.
But a very serious question, Kiran. This discipline that you have in your life today, is that just because you joined Indian Navy, or before onwards you had this thing ki itne baje utna hai, we have to do this, we have to do that? Was that something?
See, definitely, I would say because of Navy, I've been more disciplined now.
Acha.
My life, the way I'm working, the way I'm thinking, everything has changed because of Navy. But I had a little bit of discipline. I've finished my engineering. You should understand how difficult it is completing thing. But definitely, my life has changed the way I think. It's all because being in Navy, the kind of disciplined life I've been through, and why discipline? It's very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple terms. I would say break it. Discipline. Discipline is the most difficult part. Human being can achieve.
Actually.
So if you achieve this difficult part, everything else becomes easy for you.
But seriously, if you are disciplined enough, I think half of your life's problem is solved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I'm so chaotic.
That's not the way, because once in a while we tend to lose our focus and go. But in armed forces we don't have that.
We can't.
We have to be always disciplined, because the kind of work, I don't say work, the task we do, the missions we take, there is zero margin for error. Because when we do mistakes in our missions, in our task, we'll lose people directly, and there'll be a lot of implications on the reputation of India itself. Kind of equipments we follow, when kind of operations we do, it's quite confidential, and if something goes wrong, it'll be a bad thing in the outside world. So this kind of pressure we go through, and if you are not disciplined, you'll not be able to perform these tasks.
When you said you lose people, of course, there are like this attacks and stuff's going on, when you will definitely lose your colleagues, right? But at that point, I'm sorry if it's a very emotional question, but when you lose them, how you is there any, as you said, you have to be mentally prepared ki now the person who is just standing beside me 1 second before is no more. That is a tough point, and then but still you have to go on. I think that is hats off to you guys, because that's not a normal situation to go through at that point.
Absolutely. So this, as you mentioned, so when people ask me like, how do you feel? We feel bad. We are human beings.
Yeah.
We go through all the emotions.
Yeah.
The only difference is with that emotions and things going through, but we will still complete our mission, our task. We cannot we cannot stop doing that stuff. So we have to complete our task. So keep on our emotions aside. We need to move ahead with the things we're supposed to do. Yeah.
Acha. So, Kiran, before going to these training sessions and all, a set of question I want to ask you. Definitely after that mechanical engineer thing, when you go and told to your parents that you're going for the Navy thing, what was their response? So you have a stable job, be there.
So that was the most difficult part of my journey being in Navy, because my mother, I'm the first child. I'm like, I have a younger sister,
Uh-huh.
so she's very fond of me and and simple like mother stuff. Like she loved me a lot, and she didn't have, so she was really scared on my things, and she always used to protect me. So I didn't have the courage to tell her that I've joined Indian Navy.
You, after joining, you told
Yeah,
her?
so I've joined. I didn't tell her even that because
Oh.
SSB is a very complex procedure. Like I told you, in my batch there were 2,000 applications. Only 10 were selected. Entire India.
Oh.
So I was, and also even after that, it's only recommendation. It's not direct appointment. Even after that, we'll go through medical screening and everything. And after that, also there's a merit list comes in. Even there, I might lose out. So I didn't tell. I was waiting for it. So, but I have to tell her that I'm switching my career. So I've told her I'm joining DRDO as a scientist because
You told that?
yeah, I said that. So she was initially like she was not convinced, like, because I told her I will be leaving Bangalore and not be available for. And for 3-4 months I did that. Almost at the end of my joining time, I got my merit list came in and I have to join. Then I didn't have the courage. I told my father. Somehow he understood that, and he went to my mother, and she was not happy.
She was not happy.
So I said this one sentence to her, like, I was working that time. I told her, see, I am leaving my house for the office in my bike. Are you sure that I'll come back home? There might probability I might die with an accident. So if I'm supposed to die, I'll die anywhere. So at least I'll die for my country. I'm doing something. So that's how I was able to convince her.
I'm so like I can't express like how proud I feel after hearing that, because I think your mother would be like, at that point she was overwhelmed, but today she's definitely proud of you. She's definitely proud of you, because what you have done is not a small thing.
Absolutely. So she got blood pressure and diabetes because of me for the first 2 years. Her training was so hard, and I was not available for entire duration. And she was able to see me maybe after 6 months, or after 1 year sometime.
Yeah,
not able to talk to me entirely at all. So that was the situation, and she was tense. But later on, she got used to it.
So how long you have served there as in India?
10 years. 10 years.
10 years.
I've joined as a short service commission officer. So the minimum duration I have to serve is 10 years.
Acha.
So minimum duration 10 to maximum 14 years. But I have to retire after that.
Acha. So even when you got, you thought ki ab will retire, what was that thought ki you're leaving this place
So
now?
that was one of the difficult task, difficult phase of my life. A lot of things were happening. So I had to leave. There are a lot of things which I wanted to take care of my family. Like my father was in stage 4 cancer. We had very less time left. So, and there was COVID was happening when I retired. So a lot of things happened. But I had to take this call. I have to retire now because I didn't have the opportunity to continue further. If I had an opportunity, I would have definitely continued and being in service now. But unfortunately, the service, that's how it's planned. The Short Service Commission, I didn't have. I was an executive branch. So executive branch officers were not given permanent commission that time. But now things have changed later on after I retired. Some of them have got it. So I had to take a call whether now or not, because I've never been with my family. I never did anything to my family. I've missed all my friends, my relatives' marriage because I didn't know when I'll come back. So it was never planned leave for me. When I'm out for some deployments, some missions, whenever there's a lean time, that's the time I can take leave for 10-15 days, come back home and go back. So my father asked me, like, can you be with me? So that was, I couldn't say no, I have to come back. So I took my retirement of 10 years and to stay with my father, and he left for another 6-7 months. So I was able to be with him.
No, we can totally understand. You have given 10 years for us. We can totally understand that. But again, Kiran, from Indian Navy, cyber security domain with IT field.
I would say, again, see how I wanted to do masters, I joined Indian Navy. And after finishing my Indian Navy tenure, I wanted to come out. Obviously, because I don't get pension. No, we don't get pension after serving 10 years. We have to serve 20 years. I have to take a job. I'm the only breadwinner in the house. So I have to switch my career. So generally the trend was people retiring, the veterans were given jobs like, admin officers or administrative jobs in bank or security managers, something like that. But later on, people, the trend is happening in India now. Veterans have been recognized because, as I told you, the minimum qualification to join Navy is engineering. And so people, when I say I'm a military veteran, they assume I have spent my time holding a gun standing in the border. It's not that way. We handle a lot of technology. We go through a lot of trainings. You'll not believe I've studied more subjects in Navy than in engineering. Submarine is a very highly professional and elite branch of Navy. For that, we need to have a lot of technical expertise. So to enter the submarine, to stand there and do my duty, it took 4 years for me.
Oh, really?
So I have to go through a lot of phases of exams and I have to prove myself. It's written exams, oral exams. So it's not easy. So once we retire, we are technically really able people. So
after doing 4 to 5 years of mechanical engineering, again you have to go to 4 to 5 years again. That is huge.
Absolutely. See, the kind of technology we have handled in Navy, some of them are still not available to the outside world.
My God.
So that kind of, so veterans are very capable of taking jobs. And we have one of the best quality of veterans is adaptability. We can adapt to anything and we switch. So that's been recognized by the companies now, at least in India, the MNCs. They started doing veteran hiring. And this company also, when I joined for IT, I never wanted to be IT guy. So I used to hate IT guys, and I've told this to my parents, even my wife. I said, I'm not going to be in IT. So once I was retiring, I wanted to do an operational job like you'd say like Amazon and Flipkart. There are like operation officers who run the operations. It's a very tiresome job. It's like you have to be involved like that. So I was like, I'm the big guy. I'm the executive branch officer. I will be running this. I'll never be going to IT. So just before my retirement, I joined a company. You'll not believe that company. I don't want to take the name of the company. It's a good company. Like they hired me as a South head for the last mile logistic. So I had directly interviewed with the co-founder, and it's a very good portfolio.
Okay.
Just 1 week before joining, they mentioned that you might have to come every night because the job requires I have to come every night. It's a night kind of
night shift,
operation.
yeah, okay.
I might not be directly involved. I went back home and I said my father, like, this is what it. Again, my father never said anything to me do in my life. Only time he said, I think you have done enough. I think you have to give time to your family. Don't go for the job.
Okay.
But still I was adamant, no, I'll go. You'll not believe I got another offer in IT company, which I very conveniently denied. I said, I'm not coming. And I just parked it. I said, like, I'm not interested. Don't bother me. Don't bother this application. Let it be there. But so this job, I joined the company.
Oh.
One day, I sat down with the co-founder and there's a big responsibility. He gave me a schedule for next 7 days. And that entire 7 days, there was not one part I'm going back home.
Oh.
So he asked me, like, when am I going home? I'm like, no, you're not going home. You're the one, like, don't worry, you'll be like that and this. I like, okay. I just didn't say anything. I shut down my laptop, came back home. I just told him, no, I'm quitting.
But it's very difficult, no, from an Indian Navy officer and then again switching it to an IT, because IT is something which I've seen my friends how they work in IT. Like they are sometimes very much packed. They have packed as in not just about the time bound. They have to sit at a place for the other 9 to 10 hours and then looking at the screen. But I think in Navy, it's much more like you're all running around, you're working here and there, and then I think interaction in between that is also
Sitting
happening.
is a privilege.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So most of my active duty when I was in submarine, sitting and resting is kind of, I used to dream of.
Acha, okay.
So it was absolutely difficult for me to switch from there. Like, even didn't know it. I was in the retirement year of the COVID. I was a frontline warrior. I was in an administrative job for the last leg of my, service, where, the COVID happened. People were sitting at home. Actually, I was there outside. And I was a signing authority of, that emergency passes for the people. There's organizations running around. So I was never been sitting at home, even in COVID. But after my retirement, the COVID second wave happened. And I've joined IT job, where initially, you'll not believe the funny story. I'll say, how this happened, when my profile was created, my CV was created, when I gave it to this IT company, when I initially joined, you'll not believe the person, the cyber head, he's still a good friend of mine. So they mentioned, okay, we have seen your profile, and they're like, we are confident you will do this job. You'll not believe they gave this confidence to me that you can do this. So I was like, I was having a doubt like whether I should join or not. They're like, no, you will be able to do this. You have done so much. I don't think so. This will be a piece of cake for you. I was initially worried, like, oh yeah, but they gave this confidence. I thought, let me take this because I've already switched my career once. It turned out to be well, and
But it's like an east and west wala baat ho gaya. It's literally the opposite two sides ki Navy, IT.
so I, believe in serendipity. It has happened to me, and it was a good decision I took. I had a lot of flexibility to do work from home initially,
Yeah.
and I was able to give a lot of time to my family. I was blessed with a daughter when I was about to retire.
Okay.
So my wife really needed my attention. My father wanted my attention. So initial 1 year was really, I was emotionally down because I was leaving my service, retiring, and the uniform is so emotional for me. Look, I'm thinking that I'll never be going to wear my uniform back, and I'll never be in that position. So a lot of things, and also I've had a lot of emotional stress at home. But the IT job helped me actually, But it was not. You'll not believe. There's a time in COVID second, even I had anxiety. I developed anxiety initially.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, such an active person, every day, what used to happen is I used to interact with at least 300, 500 people.
Per day.
And per day, at least 100 or 150 people, minimum, I'll be talking. And suddenly I'm sitting in front of a laptop inside my house. And initially I didn't have that much workload. And I'm suddenly worried, like I'm not working. I had developed anxiety for not working.
Not working. You just have to. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah, I'm audible, and I'm talking to people on calls,
Yeah.
video calls. That's how my work was, and it was really difficult to get adapted. And again, as I mentioned, like adaptability is one of our thing which we have better. So slowly got used to it and able to take a lot of projects and able to deliver a lot of things, and I have handled a lot of clients, and I've even changed the company now. I've moved to a different company now. So I don't know. I can say that I've been fairly successful in my journey as well.
Yeah, definitely. But when you are saying about this anxiety thing and all, one thing I really want to ask you, we just talked a little before about this mental stability you should have. I really want to know from the beginning of your preparation of those entrance exam and all. Let's start from that. If somebody who is actually eager to go to Indian Navy or the Armed Forces, it would be helpful for them, right?
Absolutely.
Can we start from that part, from your preparation till your retirement, how the things were like that?
Absolutely. The first thing, I would say, definitely you cannot prepare for the SSBs.
Gotcha.
So, but you can definitely. There are certain things you have to look at it, and the way. One of the most important thing to join, Navy, which I've experienced myself, is like you should be yourself. If you try to be someone else, if you pretend someone else, they'll easily catch you. That
Okay.
you should be brutally honest, and during my interview, you'll not believe I did blunder. I cannot say that. I cannot say that. I couldn't answer a very simple question.
I'll ask you off the camera.
So there's one very simple question I didn't answer.
Okay.
And that point I decided, okay, that's it. I don't think so. I'll be going ahead, and I'm done with this interview. I'll not be going ahead. When I was shocked. Like, this is what, that's what, because I told openly during my interview, there's a phase where the one-on-one interview happens. I told them, what is your ability? I told them, I learn. I'm a quick learner. And I am very honest to accept my mistake. So they asked so many questions. I couldn't answer. I was openly said, sir, I don't know. I don't know this answer. And they said, are you not ashamed? You don't know this question. I told them, no, I'm sorry, I don't know this. But I will learn eventually when I want to. And okay, there's a final conference happens. They sat down. There's like a conclusion of all the interview, the last day. So they asked me, like, you said you're a quick learner. Do you remember? I asked you so many questions. So I learned all the questions by the time and I answered them.
Oh.
And I was very honest. Sometimes what happens is, like, if you pretend, they will easily catch it. And you cannot be like that. You have to be yourself to be an officer in Indian Navy.
And pretending won't help, I think. It won't help in such an, career, I think. And after that, then how was the training and all? Like what all the training you got? And particularly you were in the submarine thing, right? So what training you got there? What all other domains there?
So we'll talk about training. Training is, as I mentioned, people say it's all physical. It was never physical.
Absolutely.
It is mostly initially the first 6 months of training, which we do as a short service commission officer. We do initial ab initio training of 6 months, where we are trained in Indian Naval Academy. The 6 months is a combination of both physical and other technical everything. So we have made to understand how the Navy works,
Acha.
what all things are there. A lot of things like etiquettes, simple things. We always take things for granted, like, we haven't thought like how to eat, how to talk, and how to behave. If you see how an officer behaves, if you can see, you can distinctly say, okay, this might be a military officer. That's how we've been trained. So we've been trained in such way. So our training involves, and the rigorous. One of the, now I can break it and tell you, they teach us in Navy is options. They cut our options. They train our mind. Training our mind is the most important thing. To say, I'll give you an example. Like our mind is the most powerful thing in the body. And what will happen is, if you give an option, it'll always choose the easiest option.
Convenience.
Convenience. So what the initial training does to us is they take out all options. So we take out all options. You're only supposed to do this, and you can only do this. That's the way our training starts with. So it was really difficult initially.
To be honest, having just one option and you have to choose. You have to do
you
that.
have to do this, yeah. So that's why I'll tell you why it has been in that way is, and it was not easy. They'll not be easy. It'll be very harsh, and why? Because if you give an option, like when we teach you with so much ease, you will try to pick. When you're very harsh and you say no, you have to do this. You have to run. You cannot walk. We've been running. We ran for 6 months. We never walked in anywhere. So anyway, we have to run. We have to eat our food in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Maximum 5 minutes, and we have to eat. Not 5 minutes doesn't mean that you have to eat less. You have to eat the same amount of food.
Okay, within 5 minutes.
Within 5 minutes, and we have to get up in the morning. We have to do our physical task in the morning, and we have to do marching. Everything scheduled, and we have to do that way. There's no
other option.
So that's, and you have to when your senior officer comes in, you have to salute. And it is so ingrained in us for the initial training. That's how we learned. So that's the starting point. I've been issued training, and as an executive branch officer, we were made to do another training. It's called Sea Cadet phase. Where
what?
Sea Cadet phase.
Sea Cadet.
Cadet.
Okay. Sea
phase.
Cadet. Okay.
For my executive branch, the other technical branch of the officer, they'll directly go to their other training. So Sea Cadet phase is one of the very interesting. Why I've just picked up this one is, so that 6 months. We will be put in a ship, and we will be made all the task a ship or the sailor works. So why it is made, and we are not, that time we are not considered officers nor sailors. For fun, we used to say we were like not even human beings.
Like an intern.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of intern, but more harsher way.
I think many interns are gonna come and kill me.
So we are made to do all the tasks. Why? Because not cooking. We couldn't. No cooking, serving food, to even cleaning bathrooms.
Oh my God!
Why? Because in a ship, we were executing branch officers. We will be commanding one day, standing and telling our men what to do, what not to do, and to be in that position. It's a very powerful position.
Okay.
To be in that position, they want us to know what it takes, how it is done. I should never seen orders. I cannot just command that don't do it. But I would say that, okay, I know how it is done. So I can
do
tell
this,
them.
you can do that. You can't say no there.
No, yeah.
So I think that is the most important part they are picking up from the guys who've been selected like this. And I think you have that thing. You can work anyway.
Probably. You say,
that is evident because you're working in an IT right now. But jokes apart, Kiran, I really want to ask you, once this training was going on, and was there any point you thought, ki nahi, I'll leave it, I'll go home back?
Many times. The first 1 year, many people leave. Some people left because 1 year is only opportunity where we can. After that, it's difficult to leave. So I've seen people leaving, and there's a point where I felt, okay, this is too much. What is happening with me? And you'll not believe, I was unrecognizable. I lost so much weight for the first. My color changed, everything. You'll not believe. After my initial training, after 4 months, my parents came to visit me.
Acha.
You'll not believe, I was just standing in front of my parents and they couldn't recognize it was me. I have to call them and say that it's me, and my mother cried for half an hour. What have you done
to yourself? I think that's a basic mother instinct, because even if I won't lose my weight, my mother will say, you have lost your weight. So, that is what. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that 1 year was difficult, but the only thing I've learned is I should not quit. I should not quit, and this phase will go away. I have to achieve something. So that my that goal is to be there and serve my country. It will not happen just like that. And I used to believe the process. I was believing the process, like, yes, there is something which is I'm getting from this. I should wait for it. And it's not, it took 2 to 3 years to be in that position where I started to enjoy the perks of being an officer, and to be there. And people only see the other part, like, okay, you're an officer, look how you're. But they have to understand what we have gone through to be there.
Before the interview, we got to know that. Somebody was telling us, off the camera, we need to see him again.
So that is a point where, and finishing that, to getting to the submarine training. So this initial training is for everyone. And submarine is an...
Okay, so this initial training is common.
Common for all executive officers.
And then, according to your area, you'll have again...
Submarine is a voluntary arm where they will not get selected. And again, we have 100 officers in a branch, in an executive branch officers. Only 10 were selected for submarine arm. It's on the elite of other 100
Tough
people.
Competition.
So, and that takes not only the physical fitness, we should be physically extremely fit. We do extra screening for us to joining submarine arm, and we should have good marks in our academics, which I told you, like, studied so many subjects.
Yeah.
The academics also matters to be in submarine, because submarine arm is highly specialized and it's too much technical, I would say. The kind of things I've learned
to operate.
So to check that all this happens, and we have to pass an exam as well. And once I get into submarine arm training,
trust me, Kiran, if I was at your place, I couldn't. No more studies now.
And the story doesn't end there, Once I joined submarine arm, the next 6 months, I'll be studying more subjects than I studied in the last 2 years.
I think somewhat your mechanical engineering helped you.
Absolutely. See, again, engineering per se. There was other engineers. It's not mechanical. So even other engineering officers were there, domains were there. So it's like, once we are done engineering, I've read it somewhere, like, why people choose, engineering or any degree to go to a job. It's the kind of, you have the ability to be there for 4 years, learn so many subjects and pass your exam.
I think your study itself was a thing ki, this training is all okay. Mechanical engineering, this is far better.
Because here everything is practical. Whatever I've learned, I will not implement. It was, if I not learn this, I might die tomorrow without doing it, especially in submarine arm. So it's very difficult to be inside submarine. And one of the toughest thing I've ever done in my life is in submarine training, there is a called submarine escape training.
Escape training.
So if submarine goes down for any reason, to escape from the submarine which is under the sea, to come out of it, how to do it. So we do a trial, or a setup which is very complicated and most difficult thing to do, which I've done, I can say, like, entire life, that's the most difficult thing I've done.
You have done this?
There's no option.
You face this situation? Where,
absolutely. One thing I've learned in being Navy, right? So a lot of things I'm scared of, phobia. So how to come out of phobia is to do it. Do it. That's a different. I have told this people. People say, like, you'll not believe. I would say this. It's people don't believe. I am I have water phobia.
My God. Okay. Now I get phobia कैसे हटाते हैं.
So I like, if you ask me for any fun, I'm never going to jump in the water. I'm not going to do scuba diving. But if it's my duty, I will go.
You have to.
I have done it.
Option नहीं है.
So in the escape training, what happens is there's a section where we wear all the complicated suit. It's so heavy, and
Self is a claustrophobic thing, right?
yeah, and you have to. It is in Visakhapatnam. The temperature was 45 degree, and wearing that insult, I'm sweating. And there's one thing we have to use for breathing. There's one chamber, and you have to enter a small tube of around 9 meter length, around 30 feet, you can say, and you have to crawl with this, and literally you have to, like, you can only crawl from your this elbow, just crawl there to the end. There'll be 4 people. One other person will come on the other person. They'll hold his leg. They'll hold his leg and hold his leg, and they'll close this side, and they'll open this side. There's a water tower,
My God.
and you have to come out of this water tower. And once you go inside, they'll fill water here as well. You will be inside a chamber, which is, you can't move, and it's completely dark, and it's full of water. And if something goes wrong, your valve breaks and something happens, you cannot come out. So you have, since it's a practice they were given a bar where we just have to signal, and once we signal, what will happen is they will first drain the water, the tower, and they'll open the last window, and they'll pull the last guy, and the last guy, other guy has to be holding his leg, so they'll pull the 4 guys out.
Together. It's a chain kind of
Chain
thing.
action,
So what if this happens in a submarine?
So in submarine,
How big a submarine is?
I was in a conventional submarine. It's a Russian submarine called it's EKM. So it was around 70 meters, 75 meters, 75 meters. But inside, it's a two hulls. It's quite small when compared to a ship.
Okay.
So this tube is where we store missiles and torpedoes. So the only way to escape is where the torpedo exits. We have to exit from there. So it's like, practically, I don't think so anyone has survived when submarine has gone down.
Yeah, actually.
So, because the depths will matter. Only the depths are like around 80-100 meters you can come up. But mostly our ocean is 1,000 meters and above. And submarine goes down and you'll never going to trace it back.
My God. And of course, the more you go down, it is pitch dark, right? Like.
So again, another myth, when I talked about submarines, you can't see outside. You're in a very steel tube.
It's a big boss.
Yeah, it's a steel
You can't see the world.
So steel tube, which is hardly, you'll be walking around 10-15 meters for whatever duration you're there.
Okay.
You can't see anything outside. You only listen. We have a sonar, we listen, and we navigate inside the water.
Just with the sounds?
Sounds, yeah.
Till today?
Till today, yes. We can't see outside. Submarines can't see outside.
Oh my God.
It's very complex, getting into the discussion. Like, we're still in training, the submarine operation, if I say, the ocean, it is easier to explore space than our own oceans,
God, literally, I'll feel a little claustrophobic now. Because listening to all of this, it's so hard.
If you're claustrophobic, you will die within minutes, inside submarine. So the entry itself is a 15-foot fall from a small ladder of opening. You have to get down inside submarine. It's that way. So you have to enter that way, and there is no door when you're passing from compartment to compartment. There's a like round circle kind of hole. You have to crawl through it to go to the other compartment and come other compartment.
That's why this mental stability, like you were talking about, it's much more needed here, because once you are into there, if you have something like claustrophobia or anxiousness,
that's it. You cannot survive.
Yeah.
And not only when I talk about submarines, right? When we are inside, it is not only surviving, we are fighting there. We are safeguarding Earth. So you imagine, we are already accustomed to the situation. We know what we are doing. Apart from that, we are aware what is happening outside and why are we there. Okay. So we are tracking that, and we are like busy in that activity. So we'll not think about all this. So if you're given time, we don't have time to even think anything else. So we are only on the mission. We are so packed with the things, and the operations are running. And you'll not believe, when I'm inside the submarines, doing submarine operations, people dream about things, right? My dream was to sleep for 8 hours on a bed. On a bed, sleeping 8 hours was my dream. I used to think, okay, when will I go back? When will I sleep on my bed for 8 hours?
So what would be the duration when you guys go to a submarine or like that?
So submarine, when I'm posted in a submarine, when I'm sailing out, so it depends. It's not ever fixed. It depend on the deployments, the missions we use,
The task, yeah.
their task. So there are a lot of things which I'm not sure I can tell this. There are a lot of things we do.
would
It's
love
most
to know,
secretive.
but-
It's quite secretive. We do patrolling. We go out in enemy waters and all. Our conventional submarine, which I served, it can stay for 2 months, inside water.
My God.
So people, when we say 2 months, you not got out, never seen sun inside submarine. And a lot of other things, I would say, submariners do. Once I get in, people get shocked, to see this. We don't take bath inside submarines.
Yeah, that's what I was about to talk. I was about to ask you, like, how about the other things?
The submarine was really, really good. I mean, we are a little different when compared to the Indian Navy. Ships operate differently because ships has got different spaces. Their officers stay in a different place. Officers have a different kitchen. They have food prepared separately. Sailors say separately. They can wear a uniform. Where in submarine we don't have space. We don't carry uniform. We don't wear a uniform inside submarine.
Acha.
There is we wear a cloth. It's a medicated cloth. We call it disposables, and we wear it. It's only nothing else. Just one shorts and one vest. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing else. So we wear it for 3-4 days, and we'll throw it, and we'll wear a new disposable.
One. Okay.
Because that we don't take bath. We have to maintain the hygiene. So other part, so that the clothes help us.
And how about the food and all?
So food, we are Indians. We will not compromise. But yeah, food is one of the important thing, the armed forces. Like we have to be active. We have
true.
So food is important. We have normal food.
Oh,
We we have a kitchen which is of size
inside the submarine?
inside the submarine. It is almost this much. I mean, probably the way we are sitting, this area. This is the kitchen, and they'll prepare food for 100 people, 3 times a day.
In that submarine, you prepare food for 100 people.
Yep. We have chefs who are sailors, and
So it's a whole team goes together, right?
yep, we are the whole teams.
Yeah.
So in submarine, we in all other, even in Navy, in all other forces, we wear uniform, we wear ranks. Like I'm a lieutenant commander, there's a rank I wear. But in submarine, we don't wear our uniform, we don't wear ranks. We all wear same vest. So say that, everybody is equal. Because if one guy makes a mistake, everybody will go down.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of a setup where we work. So the chefs they prepare food for 100 people. And we have normal rice and one dal, sabzi, and one non-veg cook. And this only for, if the sailing is only for less than 15 days or something. But if we cross more than 15 days, we have to switch to food like, only khichdis, probably bread or something, if the duration goes too long.
But can you share an experience which you can't forget? Ki ye experience was like, in my whole career, in my whole serving time, it was something different and I never thought ki this could have happened.
Yep. So I can say a lot of things. But I'm just thinking which one. Say, okay, this happened once. Like in submarine, what happens? Like once we don't dive immediately when we're in harbor. We sail like a ship.
Okay.
Some part of the submarine will be outside. It's like a ship. We sail out. In ship, we have a big bridge where the captain sits and the navigating officer who navigate, and he'll give orders to engines and like how to go ahead and everything. So that bridge in submarine, which submarine, it's open area. There's no roof. We stand there and we navigate, and that's how once we're clear area, we need depth also. The depth matters. Initially, the depths close to the shore is usually less. So we need to move away from the shore to dive.
Acha.
So till the time we'll be on surface, and once we're clear, when we do all the checks and we remove everything, put everything inside, and the last officer standing will order, okay, the captain will order, everything clear, okay, now we'll dive. So they'll give order, we'll dive now. And the officer will agree with it and he'll come down, he'll close a lid, upper lid, we call it upper lid.
Acha.
So one officer will close the upper lid and he'll wait there. So there are two lids. One, it's like a tube, one upper lid and lower lid. Once we dive, we shut the both lids for safety. One, if this breaks, this will hold, something like that. But once we are diving, the upper lid will hold, and the officer is hanging. I told you 15 feet, just hanging with a hammer because it's a metal, it's a heavy door. If I have to shut down, and I'm the upper lid officer, and I shut down that, and I gave the order with Motorola saying that yes, I've shut the upper lid. Okay, we'll go down. So I was standing there hanging, and I've done this so many times, but every time I was scared. Every single time, because once I'm standing this close and I can hear the water gushing and the whole submarine is going down, and I'm the only guy who's standing there holding this. And if I've done one mistake, water will come in and we'll all go down. So the fear always sits there, standing there, holding. And once we have dived inside water, you have to stabilize. Once we dive inside, submarine is like an aeroplane. If you've seen aeroplane, they have wings, we have rudder, same thing. Like underwater, we go down, come up. It's like an aeroplane inside. Like that. But once we are going, we have the same trim and everything adjustments like aircraft. So once we're going down, once we settle down, submarine has to stabilize. And once we are stabilized, then the officer will come down, we'll shut down the upper lid, lower lid, and we do with the activities. So this was happening, and I'm standing there hanging. So usually I'll not know what is happening because I can't hear the inside. There's a control room where captain sitting, the other officer, they're operating the engine room, everything, there's a lot of noise. But I'm standing there, I can't know what is happening. So I was standing there, and usually it takes 5-10 minutes. And that day, it was more than 20 minutes. I'm hanging and I'm sweating like anything, and I can't hear them. Like captain is saying, "Just come down." Once everything is clear, they will give an order. You can come down. It's not happening. So 20 minutes, almost 25 minutes. I'm like wondering why this
What's
is
wrong?
What's wrong? I realized something. Sometime it might be the engineering, the trim calculation might have gone wrong. They're not able to stabilize, something like that. So after half an hour or something, finally we surfaced. They said, okay, surface, emergency surface. We surfaced. And I came up, then open upper lid, and we came out and went down. And I asked my another junior who came up to me like, hey, what happened? No, somebody was not holding. We went down.
My God.
So we went down depth. We uncontrollably went down, and we were about to touch the bottom, and we came up.
My God, lucky fellows, I must say that.
So I was like so terrified for a moment. So if anything would have happened, like I'm the first guy. But not the case. But I was worried, like what happened? But sometime it happened. It happens. The calculation have gone wrong or something happened. Went down, we came up. That was the most terrifying thing I would say. I remember
listening to this. I was sitting like, what happened? What next? What next? And you guys have lived it. Literally, hats off to you guys. I must ask one more thing about this. This mental preparation to go down there, you guys are regularly floating and all. Even after having food, you guys are still in the float. There would be things, right? You will feel a little
seasickness.
Unwell. Yeah.
That's called seasickness.
Okay.
So seasickness is very common.
For the initial days, I guess.
No, for everyone. I mean, for some people,
sometimes,
officers,
yeah, okay.
They'll have all lifelong. It's actually scientifically what happens. There's two section in your ear. There's like a gyroscope. There's a liquid which controls your body. When you stand up suddenly, when you go up, the liquid helps you to stabilize.
Okay.
And out of 10 people, I would say, I might know this number exactly, but it's like out of 10 people, probably 3 or 4 will have this issues, seasickness. So once we go inside the water, for ships it's most, but submarines, once we dive inside the water, the seasickness go away. We don't wobble, we don't do.
Okay.
But at surface, it's horrible. Submarines, it's horrible. If somebody is seasick, what will happen is they will puke. They'll continuously puke. They can't eat anything. They can't sleep. Their whole journey will be like puking.
Those 2 months.
And officers or sailors, when we're like, after many years, if they have seasickness, they'll get used to it. They'll be like, not eat anything. They'll puke. They like literally. I'm actually, I know I had one new sailor who come in. There's a new guy, very excited and very. Don't worry, beta. Everything will be fine. I'll be there. And he'll not believe the initial entire journey. For the 4-5 days, he was puking. He couldn't stand, and it was first sortie, and he was so worried. He started puking blood at some point because he couldn't take it anymore, and he was just kid, 19, 20 years old. So this guy is worried. He's crying, sir, I want to go back. I can't take it anymore. So we have shifted him and made him, putting IV drops or something like that, just make him stable. So you can imagine he would have quit.
I would have. I'm right now. I'm quitting. I'm just
So
imagining.
this guy, after 6 months, I met him. He was still sailing. So initial days it happens,
But like if a medical emergency happens like this,
we have a doctor on board.
On board you have a
have a
doctor,
doctor.
but what if the things go critical and all? Can we like just stop the sailing or just something?
For ships, we can do airlifting. Something happens at mid-sea, usually extreme cases when you're not in war situation or not in escalation, when peace environment, we can do airlifting. In submarines, also we can do airlifting, but it's really difficult. But something goes wrong, we have done 1 or 2 airlifting. I told you, right, we have to pass a person from that 15-foot small tube to come out.
Yeah.
And imagine someone is unconscious, we have a stretcher, we have to time the stretcher, you have to pull that stretcher, 2-3 guys from above. And somebody, a helicopter cannot land. Helicopter will be hovering in the air, and we'll send a rope, we'll tie this person, and this person will go in mid of the air in the middle of the sea. So it is extreme condition, we will do that, or else usually we are fit, I'd say. Until unless there's another external factor affects us, we generally, our doctors are very free. So the only person who's free in submarines are doctors. Because we don't have patients there. So during a sortie, we will, we'll make doctors as our entertainment officers. So because he's free, we all say, hey, come on, we'll nominate. We don't know what is happening in the outside world. So what we'll hear, HF radio, Akashvani, once a morning. Even now we hear that, because that's the only way we can understand what's happening. Yeah. So we'll nominate the doctor. He'll sit down. He'll write down. He'll come and announce in the evening after dinner.
Listen to the news through Akashvani. You can't see. So the radio is the medium in the submarine to get the news of outside world. Or now I think
no, even now. So I'll tell you, there is again, people get this. Everything happening, all this communication happening through EM waves, electromagnetic waves.
Yeah.
EM waves cannot travel inside water. So you cannot talk to anyone, any person. If you've seen in movies, somebody's talking to the person. No, that's a lie. You cannot talk to anyone outside.
Movies are the main thing. I think they're spreading this myth, no?
So what we have to do is, we have antennas. We can transmit or something. We have to come to the surface. Achha. We cannot stay underwater and talk. We can stay underwater. There is some equipment, but the probability of catching that signal, sending signal is very less. So to be sure, definitely we need to receive something. We have to surface. We don't surface. We come to periscopic depth. It's around 9 meters. It's like, imagine there's a water. We don't surface, because the whole purpose of submarine is covert operation. We don't want to tell we are there. And we have to hide that. What will come to a depth like 9 meters. We'll raise a mast like this, which comes out of the water, and we'll have to charge a submarine. If you're not asked this, submarines, like, imagine, like, it doesn't have air inside. We don't have engines running inside. We have batteries, electrical motors. So it's like EV, you could say. We have EV inside because we don't have engines, because there is no oxygen to run.
Okay.
So we have this setup. We have diesel generators. When we come to periscope depth, we'll raise a mast. We'll suck air from outside. We'll run diesel generators to charge our batteries. Once you're charged, we'll go down.
Okay, but again, to come to the surface, you have to be very conscious, no?
Very good. Because in sea, there is something called, if you've seen sea, for you, it might seem like it's a water. For me, as a navigator, if I see, it's like highway. There's called ISL, international sea lanes, how to come, which country go. So there is a law. It's an international law.
Okay.
Everybody has to follow that. There's a rules. So they're called rules of the road. And as any officers, executive branch, verbatim, we should know every law, every even one.
You can't
each
break,
word. So we have to be. For sure. And that law is applicable when you see each other. But submarines, ships cannot see us.
Okay.
But even though they can't see us, if somebody collides us, we will go down, because we are at 9 meter depth. Usually ship has got something called draft. If you see ship, right, there's a big chunk of ship under the water.
Yeah.
So that will hit
Definitely
us,
collide,
and we will go down.
So have you ever faced that?
No, I've never had a collision but we are in very close quarter situations where when we go for covert operations, where we are going to some places, we don't want to tell them we are here. So, but we have to be inside the water, come up, because certain areas, the depths or not will help us to stay low. We have to come up very close to the shore. Fishing vessels are the most culprit. They're like too many numbers. They will try to see something is coming. They want to come and see what is happening.
Okay.
Even they come and collide with us, we'll have a lot of issues. So maintaining that is one of the difficult tasks. And periscopic depth is the nightmare thing I've ever done. So what happens in periscope is only one officer with one eye looking at the outside world. After this, I told you one scope for sucking water, air. Another will raise another mast where we can see.
Okay.
You can see that's if you have seen the movie, somebody is holding this. That's called periscope. And the only one officer is under control right now. He's only looking outside.
He is in charge for that only.
That only. They call it officer of the watch.
Okay.
Even for that officer, when he's standing, it's like captain is the most powerful person. He cannot be always that person. So the captain has assigned this position called officer of the watch. So he's like the time being captain there. Only captain can stop him. Rest, he has got all the power to tell. So imagine this: the whole lives of the 100 lives. When I'm standing a periscopic watch. So that is the most difficult time of life, because I'm looking at with my one eye. I'm judging if some ship is coming. I'm maneuvering, trying to avoid him, and shipping boats, and all the same way. I'm ensuring that my engines, my batteries, things are working fine. All this with my one eye. So my one eye, if I do one mistake, especially in the nights when there is no moon day, everything it's completely dark pitch. So one small mistake, the entire crew will go down and nobody will ever know us where we left.
Even when you said we are going in the submarine, people would have thinking, okay, 2 months they are like living there. No, they are working there. But is this the truth that 6 months work, 6 months chutti? Is this the truth?
No, that's absolutely, that's not applicable for us. That's I told you right initially. It's about merchant navy. They are like that. So we are proper armed forces, like we are military forces. So we go to for different deployments, and we get different missions. So there's a saying, in the Navy, there is never peace. It's either war or it's preparation for war. There's only two phases.
Okay.
So, and Navy is a deterrent force. So we have to tell the world how powerful we are. Like, deterrent, when I say, imagine you go in a pub, you see a big bouncer. If you don't see him, you might. If you see a big bouncer, what will happen? People will think like, okay, I should not mess up. This guy. So we are like that. We are like we tell the world like we are like this. We have and we tell the world that we have this ability. It's not that we are covering that we don't have it. We tell the world that we are able to do these things. So we tell the world, and we conduct a lot of operations with the friendly nations. So people doesn't know this properly. Many friendly nations come. Their navy comes here. We go there. We will do joint operations.
Achha.
And we tell. I mean, if you've seen the recent development, what happened, we did a exercise with other nations to tell China that look at us, we are there, something like that. So
okay,
it keeps happening.
That's crazy. I think that's something new fact I personally got to know. But switching on to I really want to ask you, when you had this thought to serve the nation, I think most of the people don't have that thought, ki chalo, we'll serve the nation. But still, even without some people who really want to join Navy and all, but they doesn't land up there. Still, as a civilian citizen, do you think that as we people, there's something we can do for the nation apart from just like this much hard I can't work? But still, do you think we can contribute towards you guys to help serving the nation better?
Absolutely. So this is one of the point I wanted to discuss. Being a good citizen is the thing which we expect, and there's which I always want to say. When you want a great country, you should be a good citizen.
That's true.
So, but that's not happening. So one point what people think is like, oh, it's not my responsibility. It's not. So once we want to achieve something, like we want to reach a position, you have to do the hard work. And when it comes to a country, and when we say our country has to be there, we have to be here, and how a country is defined. Country is defined by their people. So people has the responsibility and to at least to be a good citizen. And you can ask like, what is a good citizen?
Good citizen, moreover a good citizen, I personally want to know, because most of the times I am talking about myself, I'm not taking anybody else, but there are small things which I can personally contribute for my nation as well as the people who are serving truly for our nation. So at some point, you being a officer, you must have this thought, no, ki if people would have worked like this, it would be more easier for the nation. I'm talking about that perspective rather than going how to be a good citizen or something.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of things people can adapt. Certain things uh, very small things. Understand what it is. Understand what rules and regulations what country is, and try to act a little responsible on things, and towards certain things, and we should not leave it to like someone else will take care. It's not my responsibility. So if people have this kind of little responsibility towards the nation, thinking not only just saying that on some social media posts like I love my country. Apart from that, there are certain small things which they can pick it up and start doing, which will contribute to a country. And also when we feel good, when we look at the thing, we are serving this nation. Who is the nation? It's our country. It's
nation,
people.
Yeah.
So when we say to the people, freedom is not free. Someone else is paying for it. So have this thing in your mind that someone else is there taking care of it. So at least try to do your part. Little small, even contributions. As I said, it's being a good law-abiding citizen. It's one of the steps. You don't have to do anything extra. At least you have to do certain things which you're supposed to do.
Yeah, true. Anyways, it was lovely chatting with you, Kiran. I must say that I got to know a lot of new things. I think you have cracked almost all the myths today that Indian Navy officers are just going for 6 months and coming back for chutti in 6 months. But it was literally a very good time I spent with you. Thank you so much for coming to KATV India, sharing so much knowledge to our audience. Do you have anything to tell to our KATV India audience?
Absolutely. So, thank you for giving this opportunity. This is one of the reasons we wanted to be here and trying to at least raise some awareness on the forces.
I think submarine, this thing was something very new. Not new, we knew, of course, there's a force that is helping out our officers over there, but this much difficult it is, that was literally a new thing for all of us. And when I got to know this today, I'm proud that I'm sitting with you, I'm talking to you. It's my privilege that I'm sitting with you, Kiran, literally.
Thank you. I would say, it's like, this opportunity was like, thank you for the opportunity, I hope I have, conveyed at least some, information that will be useful for our youth. And I just want to give one message, if somebody is thinking, with my journey, I would say, if somebody is thinking, they're stuck somewhere and they think they can't do anything after that. So don't worry, if you want to take that step, if you have the ability, if you think you have to achieve your goal, if you don't quit, definitely you will get success in your journey. So do not have to worry about it.
That we can see a mechanical engineer guy to an Indian Navy officer, and then now a IT guy from Bengaluru. That is our Kiran Ramesh, who has served for our nation this long. Anyways, thank you once again, Kiran, for joining in KATV India. That was me, Varsha Venugopal, with you on KATV India.